Hi, I'm Don, and this is The Hobbyist Geek. Welcome back, y'all! Today we're going to be continuing on our Moo Model Transformers journey, and this time we have Soundwave. Now this guy was incredibly popular back in the 80s, and I think he still is today. Definitely one of my favorite Decepticons. Personally, I like Shockwave a little better, but you know, Soundwave was a good runner-up, and I particularly like the cassette bots. I am really looking forward to seeing what comes in this guy. So why don't we take a look at the packaging and see what comes inside. And here is the packaging this model comes in. Same basic size as all the rest. As you can see though, no Chinese, and the same is true on the back as well, as we'll see in just a second. We have Soundwave here with, it looks like buzzsaw in his chest, and that looks really nice. He's got his gun and his hand there, which I think is really interesting considering on this side, all of that is missing, and you can see we've got his sonic weapon coming out of his forearm there. So I'm guessing there's another magnet. Also, if you look, his chest is open. Now I don't know if that's a posing option or if that's an actual like spring-loaded feature that comes with this. I can't wait to find out. And here we have the full cassette form of buzzsaw. So that is not just a little piece to you know, put a little detail on his chest. That's an actual separate item that slots into his chest, which is just going to be great. We got a couple of other little images here, another close-up of the buzzsaw cassette. And we've got all of this in English. How nice is that? Looks like we got 503 pieces, so smaller than Megatron and Optimus, but larger than Wheeljack. And it looks like it is a 7-star difficulty, so just 1 star harder than Wheeljack, but I don't foresee there being any issue. Let's go ahead and get the cellophane off and see what comes inside. All right, he is packaged just like all the others with what we were just viewing as an outer sleeve with this little box that slides right out. Let's see here. And there we go. Nice image. Definitely the G1 version here of Soundwave in his robot mode. Looking great. Let's get this out. Definitely a thicker instruction set than Wheeljack, which makes sense given the number of pieces. Oh, it looks like we can attach his weapon to his back. And it looks like this does indeed move. His little chest does open. That's going to be awesome. And of course the hand and the weapon here look like they do indeed come on and off for a little customization in your display. So that's nice. Other than that, don't really see anything special off the top of my head. We'll see, and I'll make sure to mention it as we go. The sales pamphlet, as per usual, this really does seem to be exactly the same items. Just on a quick overview, it looks like the same exact items that we see in every one of these sales pamphlets. Nice to have. And of course we have our metal sheets, the finger condoms. There's something on the back here. Oh, look at this. Some magnets. There's 3 large and 5 small magnets here. That is not as many as came with Wheeljack. So I'm not sure what the options are going to be. I don't see any springs or anything, so I'm not sure how the chest is going to work. Let's get this metal out here. Alright. So we have us a half sheet and 5 full sheets. So about 5.5 sheets of metal here. In this case, all of the metal seems to have this silver backing, though of course we do have the painted objects here. Lots of paint apps on here, which is actually quite nice. I mean, some of this stuff is really, really good. I like the yellow versus the gold. That's a nice distinct difference there, which is really cool. The blue, excuse me. The blue here, nice and reflective. It looks like, anyway. Could be the cellophane on top, but it looks nice and reflective. Nice deep reds. I really don't see anything here that's going to cause an issue, but there is a lot of metal here, so we will have to see as the build goes on. As we have done with the previous few models, this is going to be a multi-part video, but why don't we just get done with the talking, cut some pieces out, and get started on the build.
See
All right, here we are, 7 hours into this build, and we have 2 legs. And these legs are awesome. They're not exactly mirror images of themselves. For the most part they are, but there are some differences. As you can see, the bottom of the feet are a little bit different with different inputs. On the right leg here, you can see we have this record battery indicator, which is not present on the left leg. And also down here, there is a little R and there's a little L on this one. And if you look at the back, the right leg has a slider switch, whereas the left leg has a rolling switch. So the legs are a little bit different from each other, which is actually really, really cool. Coming in for a bit of a closer look, you can see on the thigh area here, we have a gold ring on both sides, a little bit of laser etching, a little bit of red highlighting, and some piston work up here. And on the back side, there's some more piston work here that actually comes down inside this mesh enclosure. Now I gotta tell you, these thighs are a little disappointing to me. They're relatively generic looking, but there are a ton of parts that go into this to make it look this way. So, I mean, we'll see how it all plays out, but you know, there was a lot of work, especially in this area, that just doesn't really show a lot of detail unless you're looking closely or already know it's there. Now coming down to the lower leg, we have a ton of detail here, which is just absolutely incredible. What I really like is that this detail is on the outside of the leg. So when he's standing, this will not be hidden and easily visible to anyone. As you can see, we've got a little mesh detail here. Up here, we've got a little cylinder inside a pop-out piece. This little piece of detail here is actually a copy that's molded, that's taken from the mold on the Masterpiece one. Now, the Masterpiece one isn't painted, so there's no different colors. It's just molded in, but it looks really great here. More pop-out pieces all through, just detail everywhere. Another little cylinder right down here inside this little enclosure. On the back side, as we mentioned, we've got this little roller switch here, but there's not a whole lot to it, just a little bit of laser etching, some color. On the inside of the leg, these are actually little pop-out elements with the red highlights in between. Looks great, not a lot to it, but this is the inside of the leg, so there doesn't have to be a lot to it, which is wonderful that they took that into account. On the front, we've got the gold fins underneath the knee here, and you know, a little bit of color and laser etch detail here on the knee itself, along with a silver panel here with some gold highlights and a little bit of an indentation right there. The feet are relatively bland when you look at them, but there is a lot of detail going on, from the laser etching to the color and the 3D element, you know, the inset. Little pop out here with the little arrow. There's another arrow right here on the back. On this side, we have, you know, the little red highlights. Now, one thing I'm not as big a fan of, there is some piston work here on the ankle, some of which is hidden by this, especially when he's in a stand. You're not going to be able to see that piston work there, but it is still reasonably visible, more so than it was on Megatron. On the backside, more mesh work, and obviously when you got a light shining in, you can see all the way through the inside of the foot, but without the light, it's in shadow and you don't really see much, so that's good. Not a lot here, just a little color change, some laser etch detail. All in all, a wonderful piece. Now, one thing that is kind of interesting to me, this little pop-out piece right here, this tells me that they used the Masterpiece transformer model to great effect,
because on the Masterpiece model, this little piece is actually just the button that unlocks the leg and allows it to compress for transformation. But they added it here as a little detail. So I think that's kind of interesting. It's kind of cool there. But there you have it, 7 hours of build time, maybe 11 hours total for, you know, getting the pieces sorted and all. I think things are coming along wonderfully. I can't wait to see what's next. I really hope you liked the video. If you did, please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day.